of the members present. I declare the motion passed. Members' motion with no legislative effect. Mr. Dennis Leung's motion on accelerating the development of a smart government to better assist the public in integrating into the life in the Greater Bay Area. 2 members will move amendments to the motion. The Council will proceed to a joint debate on the motion and the amendments. Later, I will first call upon Mr. Dennis Leung to speak and move the motion, and then I will call upon Mr. Siu-hung and Mr. Stephen Ho to speak in sequence, but they may not move the amendments at this stage. The joint debate now begins. Member who wish to speak, please press the Request to Speak button. I now call upon Mr. Dennis Leung to speak and move the motion. President, I move that the motion as printed on the agenda be passed. In the 20th National Congress, it is set out that we need to modernize the governance of the country, and this is one of the goals of our country. In order to implement Chinese modernization, we need to keep up with the time. The government need to digitalize the public service. Now, in terms of regional development, the Guangdong provincial government promulgated the 3-year action plan on Digital Bay Area to develop the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau Greater Bay Area into a digital Bay Area. Through the collaboration among the 3 regions, we'll be able to accelerate the digitalization and smart development so that there will be a enterprise-led approach in developing digitalization. Digitalization has become one of the driving engines for Greater Bay Area economy. In the 2022 and 23 policy address, the Chief Executive said that we need to establish a smart government. The government established the Digital Policy Office last year to focus on digital governance and smart policies, consolidate and technology resources in government departments, and promote digital public services. The government also encouraged departments to make use of IM Smart to provide one-stop service and a single portal for online government service. AI develops in leaps and bounds, and it's reshaping the economic structure over the world. And in the government will promote AI as its key and core industry. We will develop AI as an industry. And I think that the government should use AI in developing public service. In the mainland, they have been developing digital economy and digital government since 2023. The resumption of normal travel, many Hong Kong people travel and work on the mainland. They purchase properties there, they settle there. The mainland has been developing AI and the application of AI in secondary and primary schools. In the Education Forum of the mainland, the Secretary for Education said that they're going to issue a white book on AI education. The FTU have conducted a survey on people's habits on using smart technology and AI. Respondents say that they have visited a mainland in the past 6 months, and over 40% of respondents said that they are not used to the level of digitalization on the mainland. And it shows that digitalizing public service will allow people to adapt to technology better. Our digital development is still at the initial stage. In order for us to integrate into the Greater Bay Area, we must develop a smart government. However, the progress is still low. There is fragmented resources, and there's no consistency. I think, well, first of all, the government is still not offering e-licensing, say, for example, application for community hall booking in terms of resources and data. The government has only 73 mobile applications. Over 36 policy bureaus and departments roll out their own mobile application. Data is distributed in different departments, and it affects mutual access of information. When people choose a kind of public service and IM Smart, the application will lead them to another mobile application. They cannot make use of the public service in the IM Smart mobile application. The operation systems of various mobiles have been upgrading very frequently. It seems that the government cannot catch up. Now, in terms of application of technology, now people have to get used to the digital form of doing things. If we cannot step up communication and education, then many people would not be able to have access to public service, especially for those elderly persons. They have low digital literacy and they have low confidence in the use of technology. Although there are many policies and helping elderly adapt to technology, I think that the government should promote the various campaigns that they have, and we should encourage people of all ages to use digital service. Say, for example, by adding self-service kiosk at various district office to make sure that people without mobile phones will be able to apply for digital public service, to make sure that no one will be excluded. Smart government is the foundation to the development of a smart city. So I think that the government should play the role of a leader, and I think that the government should develop a smart government first, digitalizing all forms of public service, make it a habit for people to use a digital service. Also, we need to make use of big data, and we need to encourage and enhance mutual access of data in the Greater Bay Area. I hope that members will support my motion. I so submit.
And I propose the question to you that Mr. Dennis Leung's motion be passed. Mr. Chen Siu-hung. I speak in support of Mr. Dennis Leung's motion. City governance is very important in ensuring people are happy, and it will actually help improve their living quality. Different aspects are interrelated. Say, with autonomous vehicles and low-altitude economy applications, we need the foundations of a real-time communication network and a spinal network, essentially, to support these applications, and we would need a city brain for that. In 2017 and 2020, we have the INT development blueprint and smart city development initiative. We have many measures to be implemented. As for whether it can be effectively implemented, I would have the following observations. I think the government can take two directions. One, infrastructure. In 2021, the government suggested using AI to conduct real-time traffic analyses so that traffic signals can be adjusted with reference to traffic situation. And the Transport Department has been collecting data with this system, and they have saved time of waiting of vehicles by 5% to 10%. We also have seen in some junctions they have been identified as pilot sites for such applications. On the other hand, the Transport Department worked with the Digital Policy Office to make use of big data analyses and meteorological data, as well as forecast data provided by the observatory to provide forecasts for the next 15 to 19 minutes of road conditions, and they have been disseminated on the app Hong Kong e-mobility. We have seen in different places there are 24-hour collection of road traffic data for enforcement purposes. different from the city brain in the mainland, which is a comprehensive system. We have a system that is quite fragmented. I think we can make better use of data and infrastructure in an integrated manner. We have right now data stored with different departments separately. It is not easy for us to catch up with lost time. I think we should have better interdepartmental coordination to prevent data fragmentation. I think we can take it step by step by having first the infrastructure of the city brain. We should first have aspects in which road traffic data that would affect the public. We can also set priorities so that we can see where to collect the data in terms of departments and initiatives to prevent any overlapping of functions. In the end, we can consolidate relevant data and resources. With accumulation of experience, we can expand the usage to other aspects. We have seen increasing communication between the mainland and Hong Kong, especially in the development of infrastructure. In developing our own city brain, we need to make sure there is proper interfacing with the mainland system so that we wouldn't have any difficulties when we actually connect the two systems. I'm very glad to hear that in the Guangdong province, they have already established a working group to enhance interfacing between the two systems and to integrate the government services provided by the two places. I hope that in future we can explore more application scenarios and to facilitate the flow of different factor inputs, including data. I implore members to support my amendments.
Mr. Stephen Ho. Thank you, President. I support Mr. Dennis Leung's motion on accelerating the development of a smart government to better assist the public in integrating into the life in the Greater Bay Area. We always talk about a smart government. Whether or not we'll integrate it into the Greater Bay Area, we need to promote smart government. Now, we approved funding for the SAR government to go smart and go digital. They are in the process of upgrading their computer systems. However, despite the hefty expenses, we are not getting some effective results as hoped. So after we approve funding for the SAR government to develop AI, you need to employ the professionals to take the AI project forward. And yet, you're not making changes to your old ways. So I need to remind the government to be careful about how the money is spent. Apart from enhancing efficiency, at the level of the Bureau, departments should also use the same common system. Like Mr. Dennis Leung said, there is the problem of piecemeal systems and that the operating costs in managing these systems will be high. So as we take forward smart development, we also need to pay attention to these things. We need to dovetail with the Digital Bay Area strategy, and that we also should drive innovation and low-carbon development. And the government should be the core in leading the society in going digital. On innovation and technology, I think the government should place more emphasis on emerging technologies. More R&D activities should be done. Resources should be deployed to step up the effort of building a smart government. For the civil service, you should also revamp their mode of operation and the service delivery to enhance efficiency, such as blockchain technology. You need to enhance data security and transparency. And you should also make use of AI in your decision-making process so that public services can go fully digital. At the same time, in terms of digital governance, we also need to expand the scope of service and enhance the level of digitization. As I always mention, when we make an application to the government, we always need to go through the approval processes involving different departments. So a one-stop solution should be provided. I shouldn't have to go and reach out to different government departments. So from the public's perspective, as the government take forward the Northern Metropolis development, maybe we need to do something about different offices in a government building. There may be a sports hall in the third floor, a dental clinic on another floor, etc. I think that the Development Bureau should do some consultation to make sure that these services can be coordinated. We also need to address the issue of information silos. We need to enhance the flow of data among government departments. At the moment, there are problems causing this barrier, such as non-standardized formats, and that is why I think the government should draw up standards for data stored in different government departments. I always mention the problem. Why is it that we have an ID card and we have a driver's license? In fact, they share the same number. The third point is about data privacy and security protection. We attach a lot of importance to this matter, but in the past we have had the data leaks within the government. So the government should not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Well, we need to strike the balance between risk and data security. Now, I am smart, that's my next point. It's not really convenient or smart, and that is why we provided extra funding to optimize the system to become I'm Smart 2.0. But as I said, after we have approved funding for the government to work on it, we need to learn from our past lessons. We're now in the fourth generation of Smart ID card, and I still think that the cards are not smart enough. It's not just about delivering results on the face of it. You need to work with the AI in the sector, and you need to stop you need to fend off the so-called business government collusion so as to improve people's livelihood.
Undersecretary for Innovation, Technology and Industry. President, I start by thanking Mr. Dennis Leung for his motion on accelerating the development of a smart government to better assist the public in integrating into the life in the Greater Bay Area. I also thank Mr. Siu-hung and Mr. Stephen Ho for their amendments. This motion is an opportunity for us to exchange views on the topic. The Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau Greater Bay Area is growing in importance to our country's development. The GBA has the fundamental conditions of an international first-class Bay Area and a world-class city cluster with a population of over 86 million, a huge economy and boundless development potential. Hong Kong, as an international innovation and technology center of the GBA, must seize the opportunities to drive regional partnership and economic growth through INT so as to integrate into the GBA. The HKSAR government is committed to going digital and going smart, with a particular focus on developing a digital government. We leverage innovative technologies such as artificial intelligence, big data, blockchain, Internet of Things, and cloud computing to enhance the efficiency of government operations and public services. We also improve people's lives through technology and foster cross-boundary data interoperability. This will further enhance Hong Kong's development as a smart city and international INT center, while speeding up the growth of the digital Bay Area. At the end of 2022, the SAR government released the Hong Kong Innovation and Technology Development Blueprint. That blueprint put forward 4 major directions and 8 key strategies. One such direction is promoting a digital economy and turning Hong Kong into a smart city. Following the strategy of this blueprint, bureaus and departments have been consistently proposing, promoting, and implementing relevant smart government initiatives. To further speed up the development of a smart government in a well-thought-out and systematic way, we reformed our institutions. In July 2024, we set up the Digital Policy Office. That was part of our effort to optimize top-level design and to build a digital government faster with an all-round strategy. The work includes strengthening, supporting digital infrastructure, promoting smart application. It's a top-down approach as we move faster in building a digital government. The Digital Policy Office is charged with devising strategies and policies on building a digital government, data governance, and INT. Our data policy is based on data, people-centric, and result-oriented. The work includes Making good use of the innovation technology-related resources in the government and technology will promote more open data and data sharing and strengthen digital technology application. This is to meet the ever-evolving needs and public expectations in the digital era. The DPO has launched the 100 solutions about digital government and smart city. Roughly half of these initiatives have to do with big data analytics and AI-related technology. The HKSL government has also launched many measures to facilitate people's integration into the GBA. For example, we signed the cooperation agreement between Guangdong and the HKSL on cross-boundary public services with the Guangdong Provincial Administration of Government Services and Data in November 2023 to launch the cross-boundary public services service area thematic website. Through CBPS, the public can easily access more than 70 Hong Kong public services in the mainland cities of the GBA, including filing tax returns, lodging welfare applications, and submitting documentary proof. Looking ahead, we are confident that through a digital government, a smart city, and cross-boundary data flow among cities in the GBA, will massively boost people's quality of life and help us better integrate into the development of the GBA, thereby injecting fresh momentum into Hong Kong's long-term development. The HKSL government will continue to work with the public and industries to build a smarter, more inclusive and sustainable Hong Kong. President, I will listen carefully to members' comments and give a consolidated reply to address the specific ideas in the motion from Mr. Dennis Leung and amendments from Mr. Chen Siu-hung and Mr. Stephen Ho. Thank you.
Ms. Carmen Kan. Thank you, President. I thank Mr. Dennis Leung for moving the motion and the amendment moved by 2 members. Promoting digital economy and developing a smart government are issues close to my heart. In October 2022, I moved the motion. The motion was carried. To promote socio-economic integration and interaction among the 9+2 cities in the Greater Bay Area, Hong Kong must step up its efforts in building a digital government and smart government so as to build a smart city as suggested in the government report in the 2 sessions. I have 3 suggestions. First, we need to place focus on artificial intelligence and big data. As of December last year, 458 services have been rolled out. Over 3.1 users have registered for the services. Now, the growth is satisfactory, but I think there is more to be desired. The government should introduce opening up of data in an orderly manner for services usually used by members of the public. And I'm happy to learn that the Hong Kong GAI or the Hong Kong GAI rolled out the Hong Kong GAI large model in February this year. At the moment, this version 1 is used by 70 government departments. I think the government should make full use of AI, including the analytic power of DeepSeek, so as to build a framework and an ecosystem for secure data sharing, so as to plan for the development of the city brain. Professor Sun Dong, the secretary, earlier mentioned that $1 billion AI R&D Institute and Hong Kong GAI should make a joint effort. Now, having regard to the fiscal position of the government, I think that further injection should be considered in the future. Now, the second point is that the development plan for Shenzhen was promulgated in 2023 by the State Council. Now, last year we also promulgated the development outline for the Hong Kong Park, and we also laid down the principle of being a testing ground for innovation. In fact, in 2023, using fintech credit referencing as an example, we introduced a GBA standard contract, and we've now achieved a lot in terms of mutual recognition, cross-boundary flow of healthcare data. Now, as suggested in the policy address, we will also set up a collaborative platform for clinical data in the Greater Bay Area, and also a real-world, a global R&D institute. Now, the collaborative platform will involve 86 million people in the Greater Bay Area. I want to remind the administration that we need to have regard to the holistic view of the national security. That means biosecurity, data security, etc. These 20 areas are all intertwined. Another area is on GBA standard contract. In fact, starting from November last year, we have been leveraging on the success of some use cases in the healthcare sector, and we can take it further to implement a cross-boundary of data elements in the Greater Bay Area. The third point is that I think the core of building a digital Bay Area is infrastructure that is efficient. We need to place emphasis, therefore, on data security and computer systems. The Protection of Critical Infrastructure Computer Systems Bill was passed in this Council last Wednesday. You may recall that government departments are not governed by this bill, and that is why the Digital Policy Office should make sure that the government departments are properly monitored and supervised to ensure the security of the computer systems. And the response mechanism in the Greater Bay Area is also a key to the success of Digital Bay Area. In June last year, the Guangdong Province, Hong Kong, and Macau signed a cooperation agreement on sharing of data, technological developments, and joint drills, including an enhancement to the capability of rescue and search operations and the capacity to handle major incidents. I support the bill.
Dr. Johnny Ng, thank you, President. We are one of the core cities in the GBA. We have the responsibility for promoting regional collaboration. So in the era of digitalization and smart development, we need to keep our traditional competitive edge, but we also need to seize upon the opportunities of developing a smart government and integrate into the GBA development. I support Mr. Dennis Leung's motion and other amendments. I'd like to promote the full digitalization of government services and enhance the efficiency of smart government so we can provide more effective and efficient government services to the public. First of all, we need to base on data to break information silos. We should also facilitate data flow. At present, information is scattered among different departments. There's a lack of collaboration and interaction. It affects efficiency, and it also affects the efficient flow of data. In order to make public administration more efficient, we need to review and amend the relevant ordinances. We need to put the people first. We need to remove barriers in this regard. We need to maximize public benefits and improve the accuracy and efficiency of government services. We also need to keep enhancing I Am Smart. We need to provide convenience to the public in relation to using public services, especially in relation to more information cross-boundary flow across the GBA. The service scope of the I Am Smart should be expanded to cover more application scenarios. We need to take into account taxation, elderly services, and so on. So people in the GBA will find it more convenient to live in the area. In fact, the GBA is one of the innovation pilot areas. Hong Kong, Macau, and mainland cities, when it comes to legal system and administration, there are differences, but they shouldn't stand in the way of development of the cities. Instead, they should seize upon the opportunities to realize cross-boundary data interchange. We should play a proactive role in the cross-boundary data interchange with the GBA. We need to set standards together with the area. We need to promote cross-boundary data interchange. For example, in financial services, we need to build a digital identity platform so members of the public will enjoy seamless services. There should also be data interchange and data interoperability to enjoy more convenient services. Many people in Hong Kong move north to spend. There are also many people going to Hong Kong to spend at the same time. We need to streamline the customs clearance procedures. Say in Chongying Street, Sha Tao Kok, there's a pilot scheme. Not only will it benefit efficiency, but then there will also be more people flow. Hong Kong will find it easier to integrate into the GBA development. We need to apply such technologies to all boundary control points. At the same time, the construction of smart government is not just an improvement in technology, but then it is also an important means to develop. We need to seize upon the opportunities of green and low carbon development. We need to enhance our collaboration with institutions in the GBA. We need to promote big data, AI, and so on. We need to train more innovative enterprises. We are an international INT center. We need to put our advantage to good use to attract more talents to come to Hong Kong. We need to add vitality to the development of AI. This will not only improve our competitive edge, but at the same time we can promote regional collaboration. In the long run, the construction of the development of the smart government requires long-term commitment and resources. I hope the administration will help Hong Kong to integrate into the life of the GBA, and we will become an exemplar part of the development of the GBA. Thank you. Thank you, Deputy President. Mr. Kenneth Lau. Thank you, Deputy President. 2 sessions concluded successfully in mid-March. The GBA needs to innovate. It needs to be innovative. Infrastructures need to facilitate data interchange. So residents in the GBA need to foster greater bonds of exchange. Mr. Dennis Leung's motion debate on smart government in the GBA has everything to do with what I have said just now. I support this motion. Apart from deep integration of the GBA, for instance, more and more Hong Kong people go north to study, to start business, to spend, to seek medical treatment, and so on. There is greater interaction between the 2 places. GBA development has everything to do with AI, cross-boundary data interchange. As an important city in the GBA, Hong Kong needs to play a proactive role in the development of the GBA. We need to promote digitalization and smart development of government services. This is an important means to help Hong Kong to integrate into the GBA. Therefore, we need to protect personal privacy and meet legal requirements. At the same time, we need to promote data interchange and foster more digital collaboration between the 2 places. We need to share data, and we should build a cross-boundary data interchange platform so people in the GBA can enjoy the use of digital services, say education, transport, and so on. Take medical services. More and more Hong Kong residents go north to have dental scaling, buy drugs, and spend. They also seek medical treatment in the GBA. The elderly healthcare voucher scheme is expanded to cover more hospitals in the GBA. This shows the medical resources complement one another between Hong Kong and the GBA. The government needs to establish a cross-boundary data interchange platform. There should be standardization for data between the two places, with consent given by patients. Medical reports, X-ray diagnostic results should be shared between the 2 places. This will help Hong Kong people to seek medical treatment in the GBA, and this will also promote complementarity of the advantages of the medical systems between the 2 places. This can ease the strain on the local healthcare system. In order to develop a smart city, the government needs to promote the development of infrastructures in Hong Kong. Say in the remote areas, we need to improve the infrastructures in this area. Hung Yee Kok has been relating such concerns to the administration, said road infrastructures, water supply, all these should be developed and taken forward. We need to dovetail into the high-speed development of the northern metropolis. There will be greater demand in this regard. So in the rural area, we need to foster smart development so people in the rural area will also be able to enjoy the benefits brought about by the digitalized city. The development of a smart city is not just a technical innovation, but then it marks the shift of the government in providing public services. We need to make sure that the government should strike a balance between the needs of different groups in the city. We need to meet different demands so members of the public will enjoy the benefits brought by a smart city. I so submit. Thank you, Deputy President. I support the motion. Mr. Chen Pui-leung. Thank you, Deputy President. I thank Mr. Dennis Leung for moving this motion. Developing a smart government is a global trend. In recent years, the Hong Kong government has done a lot on this regard, accelerating the digitalization and smart development of the city. We have achieved some results. In the blueprint, there were development directions of developing a smart government. Last July, the Digital Policy Office was set up to improve the top-level design and take forward the development of a smart city. Among the 142 cities in a survey, Hong Kong ranks 20, down by 1 rank comparing with 2026. Hong Kong ranks 6 in Asia comparing with Shanghai, Beijing, Singapore. There are many areas that Hong Kong needs to improve on. 97% of the Singaporean population have a digital identity. Almost the entire population have one. Residents in Singapore can use government services online and offline. They can file tax returns and make medical appointments online and offline. Government services are digitalized in Singapore. It is also one of the reasons for the success of Singapore. I'd like to talk about I'm Smart. I'm Smart is one of the important infrastructures in Hong Kong. It is the personal digital identity of Hong Kong residents. But when it comes to the coverage and functionality, there's a lot of room for improvement. With the full implementation of I'm Smart, digitalized government services are launched to promote a single portal for online government services. I'm Smart has been launched for 4 years. Now around 3.1 million Hong Kong people have registered. The coverage rate needs to be improved. Participation among the public is an important driver for development of the I Am Smart initiative. The government needs to enhance publicity in this regard. We need to let members of the public know I Am Smart can improve their life and life experience. So the government needs to keep enhancing the functions of I Am Smart. We not only have to improve the functions of different government departments, but then to develop I Am Smart personal code, we need to help Hong Kong people to seek medical treatment and pursue academic studies outside Hong Kong. The purpose is to achieve the aim of single portal for online government services. Last year, the ITIB said that in the past 5 years, there were a total of 116 government apps developed by government departments. 38 have been taken off the shelf. Only hundreds of download rates for some apps. Information clarity, user experience, they leave much to be desired. So I suggest that the government should set up a smart index for the government. Different KPIs should be set up to take stock of the effectiveness of different initiatives. We also need to ask the public for feedback. So when the government implement measures, we can focus on the needs of clients as well as the feelings of members of the public when it comes to using the services. We need to take a step forward. We need resources and resolve to take forward a smart government. Are the initiatives cost-effective? Do they meet their intended goal? Some applications may not be necessary. We need to take stock of the situation. We need to consolidate some apps. This requires collaboration among different government departments and policy bureau. It is exactly how we can develop a smart government and help citizens in Hong Kong. I support the motion of Mr. Dennis Leung and other amendments. Thank you.
Mr. Jimmy Deputy President, the GBA is personally implemented plan of President Xi Jinping. We need to bring Hong Kong, Macau, and Guangdong together. We foster the economy and we make this place more competitive. There are 11 cities in the GBA. Each city is unique in terms of their culture and systems. Coordinated development rests on connectivity. The Guangdong government announced a plan, and that was about speeding up the development of the GBA. They laid down a 3-year plan. This action plan contains a number of points. Connectivity in terms of data, infrastructure, business, property, everyday life. In 6 areas, the plan proposes connectivity. And that, in turn, hinges on smart government. By going smart, where are we? In 2022, the government released the HKINT development blueprint. There are 2 directions. One, smart government and smart city, and another one on deepening cooperation with the mainland. The first one was about improving ourselves, and the other one was about cooperation. And then 2023, we saw the merging of the OGCIO and Accel. And then last year, we saw the setup of the DPO, Digital Policy Office. This year's budget proposes a number of tasks for the DPO. So for our own DPO, here's what we should do. 1. We should be monitoring our smart government and smart city measures. 2. For I Am Smart, all departments should fully adopt I Am Smart. 3. Promoting use of digital technology by seniors. 4. Promoting data sharing and application between departments. 5. Working with Guangdong. Let's coordinate cross-boundary public services. 6. Monitoring the delivery of the standard contracts in the GBA and also other measures about cross-boundary data flow. The government's direction is clear. We have to move faster, and that's exactly what this motion is about. Faster. Now, for people to be comfortable about going to the rest of the GBA, there are a few things we must do. 1, we need a top-level design. We need a plan rather than a piecemeal approach. When we run into a problem, let's relax the rules. 2, we need to relax the rules and have more surface kiosks so that people in Hong Kong can access public services in the mainland. 3, it's about healthcare. The government has been trying to promote cross-boundary healthcare. I support that. Let's make it even easier for people to access healthcare so that people will have peace of mind when they live in the mainland cities of the GBA. I so submit. I support the motion and amendments. Professor Chow Meng Kong. The government should move faster in leveraging technology, in streamlining operations, and show people the change, show people the ease that technology can bring. Here are my thoughts. 1. The government has almost 80 mobile apps. Let's move at least some of them to I Am Smart. Give people the experience of an integrated system. And that can save maintenance costs. Starting from 2018, the government has spent more than $100 million on I Am Smart, and then 2023, the government got another $200 million to enhance I Am Smart. That has not factored in the maintenance costs. the recurrent maintenance costs. IM Smart costs a lot, so we need this app to bring ease to people, and we also need this app to help us save the maintenance costs of other mobile apps under the government. Let's put the resources where they matter. Last year, the government provided written reply to the questions during the special finance meetings as at the 1st of April 2024. Various departments and bureaus had 87 mobile apps for download. We checked out those apps. The cost effectiveness of those apps left much to be desired. One app from the EPD, and that's Green Dollars, it cost $1.3 million in maintenance. And each year you spend more than $400,000 on EM and Connect from the EMSD. Just 27,000 downloads. Each year we spend $330,000 on the app for the mandatory window inspection app. 25,000 downloads. Now we have IM Smart. So let's move the public services to IM Smart instead. That way, people go to one platform and they can access various services. And that's one way to streamline operations and make life easier for people, and you also save money. What's not to like? And we don't have to start from scratch as we build a smart government. Let's learn from the mainland and from overseas. We can procure ready-made solutions so that we can deliver those solutions fast, and we can also align ourselves with mainland and overseas experience. I visited the mainland after COVID. Shenzhen residents told me their local traffic management system is well developed. It's called 12123. Here in Hong Kong, we still have to amend our laws just to change our traffic rules. Over in Shenzhen, the system can achieve a number of things: fines, demerit points, everything. They can take care of everything with a single system. So we cannot help but reflect on ourselves. We wanted an e-driving license system. We could have procured that from the mainland. Of course, some localization will be needed. And then we looked at a $220 million proposal, and that's a smart port community system. That system was meant for upgrading our port system. In principle, I support the proposal, but I wonder if the government considered a more cost-saving alternative. The mainland has a ready-made system. Why not procure the system from the mainland? Why build one from scratch here? Building a smart government and smart city is a process where we have to take into account cost effectiveness, and we have to streamline things and make life easier for people. And we also have to bridge the digital divide, show our seniors the benefits of technology. Last September, Singapore released their Digital Country 2.0 plan. Their plan was to make life easier for everyone from all walks of life through technology. So the lesson for us is that we must put people first, and let's also factor in the needs of seniors. In 2022, 91% of our seniors had a smartphone, up more than 2 times from before. And even more seniors now have a smartphone. So on IM Smart HA Go, let's make those apps more senior friendly so that everyone can benefit. I so submit. Mr. Ronick Chan. Deputy President, by smart government, we should use different advanced technologies, cloud computing, big data, and you name it, to make this change from a more conventional governance approach to a modern, efficient approach. I thank Mr. Dennis Leung for his motion today. This is about moving faster to build a smart government and help people integrate into life in the GBA. I support the motion and the 2 amendments. A digital platform for public services is important. So we now have this website on CBPS. We have self-service kiosks to make it easier for people to access public services, and they don't have to visit the other side just to use the services. But we can do better with the website. Let's consider adding online customer service support. When people have questions, they can get help online. When you get major policy changes or a change in how people apply for services, let's make the information available in easily accessible ways. The mainland's public service platforms are well developed. In Shenzhen, they have the iShenzhen platform. They offer a full range of public services. People can really get everything done on a single platform. Here in Hong Kong, we are behind the curve. Let's do better. IM-Smart has gone through many rounds of improvements. Now there are more people registered on the website. We applaud the government's work. Still, once you log on to IM-Smart, you're still diverted to different departmental websites. So let's keep doing better, so that one step at a time, we can access most public services without being diverted, and we can stick to a paperless process. HA Guy launched its HK Guy V1 model. This was trained and fine-tuned with DeepSeek. More than 70 departments have now been piloting the LLM. That's for the clerical tasks. The system raises government efficiency, and this should also be something people can use, say, for the Education Bureau 1823 and the many websites of the Buildings Department. Many chatbots are now available on government websites. But those chatbots can only deal with inquiries in a very limited sense, so we should do better. Can we put the AI-based system on departmental websites? Can we add the features to the chatbots that will lead to more powerful chatbots and improved user experience? On improving public services, Guangzhou has extensively adopted DeepSeek to improve their services in many areas in public services. The same goes for Shenzhen. They're also using DeepSeek. The mainland has many success stories in smart public services. We have much to learn from the mainland. So let's consider setting up a cross-boundary consultative platform so that we can compare notes with the mainland, we can learn from the mainland, and we can work together to improve governance, to overcome our own bottleneck in governance. The problem is not with technology, it's about the thinking. The Accel government should put people's needs first. The question should be what we can do to what our people need. So let's take a page from our businesses. Let's put the customers first. Now, we now offer driving license without an exam. People still have to visit a counter. People still have to get a spot. You don't have enough places under the quota system. People spend time in the queue. Let's do away with the queuing. Let's do away with the visits to the counters. That would be a good example of putting people first. A smart government requires more than technology. It's also about meeting people's needs with technology. I so submit.
Professor William Wong. Thank you, Deputy President. I thank Mr. Dennis Leung for moving the motion on accelerating the development of a smart government to better assist the public in integrating into the life in the Greater Bay Area. Recently, Coldplay, a UK band, was supposed to hold a concert in Hong Kong, but there has been a controversy regarding the misprinting of the tickets. Now, ticket holders are required to exchange the tickets in person, and that caused some grievances. In fact, nowadays, people use QR codes or e-tickets instead. It's very convenient and it's happening around the world, but Appendix in Hong Kong is still offering only physical tickets, so we are lagging far behind. In recent years, the government has made achievements in promoting the smart government. For example, the I Am Smart platform consolidates a series of public services. Through a single account, members of the public could pay taxes or inspect vehicle registration or make a booking with a GOPC. There are also other apps such as Hong Kong e-mobility that provides real-time traffic data that helps members of the public plan for their travel. Now, we must acknowledge the resolve of the government in going digital. However, the problem remains in information silos. Departments work in their own silos. There is a lack of communication. Different government departments have developed different apps, and a user is required to download and use different apps in order to access government services. It's a duplication and waste of resources. Whereas in the mainland, with the use of mini programs in WeChat, citizens could gain access to over 100 innovative services. So it's really convenient. The Hong Kong SAR government should leverage on AI and other frontier technologies so as to inject impetus in the development of a smart government. Recently, the Legislative Council approved $200 million for the replacement of traffic lights or traffic light controllers, but $200 million will be spent only on a basic upgrade. In this day and age, we should make use of cloud computing, big data analytics, AI, and the Internet of Things technologies to manage traffic in a city, such as Shenzhen, Hangzhou. AI is deployed in traffic management. Using AI, they can analyze real-time traffic data to adjust the traffic light sequencing and reduce traffic congestion. In terms of civil service establishment, in Shenzhen Futian precinct, they've introduced 70 AI digital employees in the public service to lift the burden off frontline officers so that we can focus manpower on policy planning and innovative services. Now, the key is whether the government can make this bold move and change its mindset so that more resources can be deployed on I&T in collaboration with our local sectors. The government, the country is now taking forward a unified big market across the country. And the NDRC in January this year also formulated a set of guidelines on the building of this unified market. Against the current political landscape, we are also affected. So under one country, two systems, we should consider how we can be best positioned in this big market. And I believe that building a smart government is crucial. The mutual access of information provides a valuable opportunity, and we should step up our collaborations at the G2G level, G2B, and also G to the public's level, so that we promote mutual flow of data and go fully digital, so that we can provide digital public services and break barriers. And we can then integrate with the mainland system, and that we can provide facilitation to people living, working, or doing business across a boundary. I support the motion and the amendments. Mr. Lam Chun Sing, I thank Mr. Dennis Leung for moving the motion. With the development of Greater Bay Area, we've now completed the 1 hour living circle in the Greater Bay Area. According to the CNSD's latest survey in 2023, for Hong Kong residents above 18 years old who frequently reside in Guangdong province, there are 310,000 of them. And in terms of Digital Bay Area, we've also stepped up our efforts in aligning our infrastructure with the Greater Bay Area. Starting from November last year, Hong Kong citizens could use I Am Smart for identity authentication, and that our accounts can be recognized by the Guangdong Province Unified Identity Authentication Platform, so that we could use the services in the mainland. Last year, I met with the Digital Policy Office to reflect the views of Hong Kong residents residing in the mainland. Well, at the moment, despite the service rollout for almost a year, just about 20,000 people have signed up for the mainland's unified identity authentication platform. So the government should step up publicity so that more residents in need could make use of the cross-boundary public services. We can continue to allow more services to be provided through this platform. In addition, in 6 Greater Bay Area cities such as Guangzhou, Shenzhen, Qianhai, CBPS self-service points have been set up, and Hong Kong residents residing in the mainland can make use of the kiosks or service points to file tax returns or to conduct a business registration. I hope that the self-service kiosks scope can be further expanded to all cities in the Greater Bay Area, and that the public services covered could be expanded in scope as well, to say commuting and healthcare, so as to better cater for the needs of Hong Kong residents in the Greater Bay Area. The government should also step up its efforts in rolling out the digital corporate ID platform of I Am Smart, so as to facilitate online transaction and digital services for enterprises operating in the Greater Bay Area. On elderly healthcare, the cross-boundary app for e-health was introduced last year. It also allowed the storage of personal health records in the system. I hope that this pilot scheme could be expanded to cover more healthcare institutions in the Greater Bay Area, so that health records can be accessed electronically across the boundary for doctors on both sides to provide better treatment. There should also be further efforts to promote telehealth services, as well as cross-boundary ambulances, and that public-private partnership healthcare schemes should be provided for Hong Kong residents in the mainland. Lastly, it is also the aspiration of Hong Kong people residing on the mainland that there should be a more expeditious way for them to fulfill their duties as eligible voters, so as to vote in Hong Kong's election. The Accel government has been doing a lot, including the setting up of polling stations near the BCPs to facilitate the Hong Kong residents voting. Now, in the long term, the government should consider ways to further facilitate the voting by electors, such as the use of an e-platform. The government should conduct studies on these ideas in the long term. I support the original motion. Mr. Robert Lee. Thank you, Deputy President. Well, the financial services industry is also going digital. With the apparent growth in cross-boundary commerce, I agree with the original motion that the government should accelerate the development of a digital government to help people integrate into the life in the Greater Bay Area. I'm going to speak on some suggestions to take forward this digital reform to meet the financial needs of Hong Kong and mainland citizens. The 14th Five-Year Plan supports Hong Kong's position as an IFC. It also supports stronger collaboration between the financial markets of the two places. I think the Hong Kong regulators should conduct a joint study with the regulators in the mainland, so that through the development of fintech, they can allow better access of financial data to promote cross-boundary financial management, risk management, etc. And that should also, so as to dovetail with the national policy of financial inclusion. Take Cross-Boundary Wealth Management Connect. At the moment, for eligible products in southbound trading, they are mostly financial products that have been rated as low to medium risks. We also need to consider the capital requirements for mainland investors, as so, for example, the net asset should not be below 1 million renminbi. According to the sector, these financial products for southbound traders may not meet the needs of potential investors, especially in terms of the asset requirements. I think the government should work with the mainland in further expanding the scope of products such as funds, fixed income products, and other investment products above the low to medium risk level, such as alternative investments and private equity. Now, with fintech, we should be able to collect data to better analyze the risk appetites of investors so as to provide suitable financial advice. Cross-boundary wealth management scheme at the moment is subject to some restrictions. For example, southbound trading products should not be publicized directly in the mainland. And likewise, for northbound trading products, they cannot be publicized and promoted by mainland institutions in Hong Kong. So this is a barrier. The government should discuss with the mainland authorities so that we can break this barrier and further facilitate the development of both markets. I also support the amendments, in particular, stepping up the mutual recognition of digital infrastructure between Hong Kong and the mainland. At the moment, mainland residents could make use of an online platform to verify their identity, whereas for Hong Kong residents, we make use of the digital certificates issued by the Hong Kong Post. In order to facilitate cross-boundary financial services, the government should step up its efforts in rolling out the digital corporate identity platform for enterprises to be able to share data, to authenticate identities, and to verify signatures. This can facilitate certain procedures such as bank account opening, license renewal applications. The government can also save resources and manpower whilst boosting efficiency. I think the government should continue to enhance collaboration with the mainland, and with the use of technology, we can enhance financial cooperation and mutual access of the two places so as to better meet the needs of financial needs of residents in the two areas and to help integrate into the Greater Bay Area.
Dr. Franking An. In 2023, the number of ordinary residents, Hong Kong residents in Guangdong province exceeded 530,000, 40% up from 2018. This will not only promote the living quality of Hong Kong people, but we will also be able to lay the foundations of GBA development. IM-Smart has been upgrading in different aspects, providing a range of government services, say booking services, filing tax returns, checking personal particulars. These have brought convenience to the public, but then IM-Smart is still facing a lot of different challenges. Say for government services in different government departments, they haven't yet been consolidated. Citizens need to log into different systems. The procedures are cumbersome. We cannot achieve single portal for online government services yet. Say for housing and healthcare services, citizens need to go to different platforms. The operating time is longer than expected. For those that are not tech savvy regarding the use of IM-Smart, they find it difficult, and the popularity rate of, or the popularization rate of the platform is on the low side. I suggest that there should be cross-department services. We need to build a true single portal for different services. Then citizens don't need to go to different platforms in order to access different services. There should be AI customer service on the system, providing immediate support for those that are not tech savvy. Say there should be audio or visual guidance. The platform should also be made open to NGOs and private organizations. Healthcare bookings information should be provided in order to expand the function of the platform. In relation to digital divide, simplified interface should be provided. In Social Welfare Department, Labor Department, district offices, support stations should be provided in order to help the public to use such applications. Digital education should also be enhanced through this method in order to deepen the collaboration with different GBA cities. We need to facilitate cross-boundary data interchange. Single portal government services cover healthcare, taxation, education, and so on. Then members of the public don't have to go to different provinces or cities, but there is a lack of standards. Some organizations don't recognize the digital or the identity authentication of members of the public. Then the public will have to go to the units in the mainland to make applications. Some government services aren't on the platform yet. Residents need to go to different cities in the mainland, and that is a waste of time. Different governments in the GBA should work together to build a single portal to allow data interchange across different cities. At present, self-service kiosks are only available in 7 places. They aren't enough to cover all GBA cities. There's a lack of functions in relation to education, for instance. There should be a unified identity authentication platform. Say the home visit permit should be incorporated into the system. Then Hong Kong citizens don't have to take a lot of time to make application for such documents. Safety sandboxes should also be launched under the premise of privacy. Education qualification mutual recognition should be allowed. This will promote intercity development. We need to add a sense of human touch to the development of a smart government. We need to deepen collaboration. Then we can remove the obstacles in relation to technicality or other obstacles. Then members of the public will feel the convenience of a smart government. I so submit I support the motion. Thank you, Deputy President. Ms. Chen Yutming. I speak in support of the motion of Mr. Dennis Leung and other amendment. On the 7th of 2023, there is a 3-year action plan for digital GBA. It expedites the development of the GBA or the digital GBA. Hong Kong needs to integrate into the life of the GBA at full steam. The government takes a proactive role. With the development of a smart government, we need to move towards digitalization and smart development of the city. It is exactly how we can integrate into the development of the GBA. On the development of a smart government, I put forward 2 proposals. One, we need to address the coordination issues among different government departments. Government policy bureaus have different purview, authority, budgets, and so on. So some functions are duplicated on the platform. In relation to the smart lampposts, the initiatives are indeed very good. Real-time data can be collected, and they can also be in line with the development of the 5G technology. But then smart lampposts come with a heavy price tag. The distribution is too dense for lampposts. So the scheme isn't as effective as it may sound. 1,000 odd sets of monitors have been set up to monitor road conditions. I asked the police force, and the reply I got is that since 2024, a total of 615 cameras have been set up. This year, there will be a further 1,300 plus monitors being set up. The EPD will also set up cameras to monitor the disposal of waste illegally. Will it give rise to duplication of resources? Could different departments work together? I suggest that the DPO should provide coordination to enable different departments to share the data in order to reduce resource wastage. Regarding the app I Am Smart, it should be the main app, but then 1823, the Health Bureau, Immigration Department, the Hong Kong Observatory, LCSD, and so on, all these government departments have their own apps. Some functions of I Am Smart are only in place to transfer the or refer the users to different applications instead. We are still a lot of distance away from building a single portal for online government services. The offshore data center of the GBA is in Sandy Ridge. The development of a smart government promotes digitalization of government services. We need to promote the identity authentication of residents in 3 places. One difficulty is the sharing of data across 3 places. How can we ensure data safety while facilitating cross-boundary data interchange? In the 3-year action plan for digital GBA, exploring Hong Kong, Macau data interchange, and building offshore data center. These initiatives were mentioned in the action plan. In the 2 sessions, the central authority expressed concerns over the cross-boundary data policies. We are living within one country. There should be more convenience. Sandy Ridge is positioned as a data center area, so the offshore data center may be set up in Sandy Ridge. I so submit. Thank you, Deputy President. Mr. Tang Fei, I speak in support of Mr. Dennis Leung's motion. This motion is not just about breaking information silos or barriers. The thrust of the motion is to facilitate cross-boundary data interchange across the 3 places, or how to expedite the cross-boundary data change across 3 places, thus benefiting the public and providing more convenience to the public. If we can solve this problem, the remaining technical issues won't stand in our way. Regulatory standards are important. Different jurisdictions have different laws. Say the mainland, Macau, Hong Kong, we have different laws. But then there are different regulatory standards in relation to cross-boundary data interchange. In relation to the Personal Data Privacy Ordinance, there's a very cautious attitude. As for the Personal Data Act of Macau, a dedicated assessment needs to be undertaken. In mainland China, there's a tiered data system. All these make it not so easy to facilitate cross-boundary data interchange. In relation to the protection of data sovereignty, the understanding might be a little bit different. In Hong Kong, we adopt an express consent mechanism, but then in other places it may not be the same. In order to remove this obstacle, the GBA should explore a multi-tiered law coordination mechanism. So we need to set up a committee so that the units in the 3 places can come together to devise an action plan. We need to ensure safety from the top level. In concrete terms, many advanced economies can lend us some experience. Say in the European Union, they have a whitelist mechanism. In the US, in a federal government, among different places, there's a non-mandatory system or standard, and we can draw reference from these jurisdictions to make our own laws. It will simply serve as a reference. then we can devise the best practice framework. In relation to implementation, in the case of any disputes, we can form a GBA dispute resolution or adjudication mechanism in Hengqing, Qianhai. There are similar regulatory sandboxes. They are being piloted. It's difficult to open up all areas. Healthcare data is very important. We need to set up standards of health data interchange. In Hong Kong Shenzhen Hospital, we can take it as a pilot areas before expanding it to other areas in mainland. Social protection, mutual recognition systems, we can develop the mini programs, say WeChat mini programs for social welfare benefits. We can make inquiries in relation to mainland social services using our mobile phone. We can also access a record in relation to commercial data interchange. We are a little bit behind in relation to the starting point, but then we are moving forward steadily. We need to have a standard. The development of a smart government in the GBA is a mega project. We should proactively work with Macau and Guangdong. We need to set a timetable. We need to have a timeline, 3 years, 5 years. What will we achieve? Thank you.
Mr. Kitson Yang. For a smart city, we need some key elements. Governments everywhere are working on building a smart government. For us here, people still have to visit the counter, say they want to get a former driver's license. Without an exam, they still have to visit a counter, and that leaves loopholes for unscrupulous people to exploit. For the HKSL passport, you still have to pick up the passport in person. So I put in a written question about postal delivery of passports. People can simply acknowledge the receipt on I Am Smart. That's my proposal. But nothing came of it. Each department works in its own silo. There are data silos, information silos everywhere, and that's holding us back. The Housing Authority has been allowed access to data to combat abuse. And different departments roll out their own mobile apps. We have more than 100 such apps. Now, take the traffic apps, for example. We had a number of them. We merged them into e-mobility, but then we got e-toll and e-meter. Many apps saw a small number of downloads, maybe 10,000, a few thousand. In the end, only HAO from the Hong Kong Observatory and eHealth saw more than 1 million downloads. I have been calling for the merging of eHealth and some other less used apps. When you have so many apps, you take up storage space on people's phones. Are we really going for quantity? The mainland is a success story. Getting things done is very simple. In Shenzhen, they have just one app, iShenzhen. The Guangdong provincial government also has just one platform for people and businesses. They have one-stop services. You have 粤省事粤商通, and those apps are popular. Macau also launched an app and a website. You go to one website and you can access various public services. People get real-time alerts from the Macau government, and you can check different kinds of information. It's very handy. Different governments are adopting the strategy of internet plus services, so they're going smart. So for us, in the future, let's merge and consolidate our apps across departments. Let's give people just a single app. Let's make good use of the resources. Can our I Am Smart app be more like the Guangdong apps? I Am Smart shouldn't be there just to redirect people to 100 different department websites. This year, we have a plan to make a single portal for government services a reality. So as a next step, can we have linkage between IM Smart with the Guangdong provincial apps? We're already able to link up IM Smart with the Guangzhou's app. Can we further link up IM Smart with the apps of Shenzhen and other apps? Let's also further open up data. Let's foster further linkages between the data of Hong Kong and that from the mainland. Let's make it easier for people to access public services in the mainland. And then you can foster the flow of people between the two places. A smart government requires a clear vision, top-level design, a timeline, and roadmap. Singapore has a smart roadmap for 2025. So for us, let's devise our own timeline and roadmap. Let's monitor delivery progress. Let's also focus on digital infrastructure. We consolidate the resources and develop features so that we go fully electronic for government services. And let's put together the data from different departments. Let's use data to overcome constraints in geography and make people's life easier. I support Mr. Dennis Leung's motion and all amendments. Dr. Lo Wai-kwok. Deputy President, I start by thanking Mr. Dennis Leung for his motion and the other two members for their amendments. Our country has been promoting digital economy and electronic services. Our country's national 5-year plan also highlights this task. Our country is going smart with government processes and public services, and that hinges on Internet Plus. Measures were rolled out to make that happen. In November 2023, the Guangdong government announced a 3-year action plan on the Digital Bay Area. It's a plan about an integrated approach to public services and turning the Digital Bay Area into a new growth area. For Hong Kong, in December 2022, our government launched the Hong Kong Smart City Blueprint 2.0. On going smart and going electronic with public services, we can do better. We've fallen short of expectations. During the COVID times, civil servants worked from home. The approval for the plans and other documents for project relied on the conventional approach, and that highlighted how backward we were. People in the engineering sector lamented our failings. The chief executive stressed building a smart government in his first policy address. The emphasis was put on single portal access for government services, and then we merged the OGCIO and F4, and we set up the DPO, Digital Policy Office. We now have a commissioner for digital policy specifically tasked with a data strategy and data policy. That points to the resolve and commitment of the current term government. Technology moves by leaps and bounds. Building a smart government requires way more than just going paperless. Let's also use AI, cloud computing, and big data analytics. That's why I support this motion. Our government should seize the opportunities from innovative technology. Let's go fully digital with public services, and we should integrate into the GBA smart city development. So, here are what we can do. 1. We need the updated version to our smart city blueprint. We need blueprint 3.0. Let's review our top-level design. Let's consider raising the status of the DPO to strengthen cross-departmental coordination. Let's foster data sharing between departments. Let's set up a central data repository. Let's build our own city brain. Let's set up one platform offering a range of public services. Different services should be incorporated into IM Smart, and we need a clear timetable for that. Let's link up data from different places to enhance the overall efficiency of the community. The people within the GBA are visiting different places within the area, and that means for data, we need cross-boundary data flow and also cross-boundary access to public services. Let's foster data sharing. We need a platform for that in the GBA. Let's also foster interconnection in, say, e-payment systems to make it easier for people to complete transactions online and use e-payment options. With more digital infrastructure, cybersecurity and protection for privacy are becoming all the more important. Government departments and public organizations have fallen prey to hackers or ransomware, and that's a wake-up call for us. So for our government, let's step up the governance and cybersecurity of departments. We need contingency plans. We need regular cybersecurity drills. Let's also set up a notification mechanism and also a coordination mechanism for cybersecurity incidents so that we become more resilient in cybersecurity. We should be an integral part in the system to protect our city system and the national security. Mr. Duncan Chiu, I'm from the INT sector. The sector and I are fully behind the government's efforts in building a smart city and smart government. The government has committed vast resources to this area. Many challenges remain, and we have to face them head-on. Data security is one. Data flow, talent, outdated laws, public acceptance, and also bridging the digital divide. These are things that will require government effort. That's why I support Mr. Dennis Leung's motion on moving faster to develop a smart government to better assist the public in integrating into life in the GBA. This is an opportunity for us to discuss this matter. So we have to get ready on a few things. 1. We need complete data sets. 2. Regulation. We passed the bill on protection of the computer systems of our critical infrastructures. That's for data security. We have laid down the laws and regulations. Businesses sitting on top of troves of data are now required to protect the data. We also need complete data sets. Many members have commented on single portal for government services. Does that mean we put all eggs in one basket? We put all data in a single place? The DPO has its cloud platform. The DPO is there to coordinate the work. But data groups or data clusters are something we should think about. I know the government is already working on this. We have IM Smart. Now, we have different data stored in different places. On healthcare, we have e-health. There will be legislative amendments. E-health will be another part of data. And then for spatial data, we will be discussing the CSDI and the geospatial lab. And that means another trove of data. We also have the commercial data interchange, and that is another trove of data. We need full set of data, real-time data, and they will matter for smart government, smart city. We need the full data. We will be amending the law for e-health. We will have a discussion. We will have access to public and private data. the Lands Department will also have its hands on a full set of data. And that will enable data mining for better informed policy making. There are pilots going on for cross-boundary data flow on credit referencing. I know financial institutions are working on some pilots about data sharing, cross-boundary data sharing. On health data, work is going on in data interchange. We also have the Guangdong Apps 粤省市 and also I Am Smart in Hong Kong. Some pilots are going on. Cross-boundary cooperation is already going on. What we need is a clear timetable. We have the pilots. When do we expand on the pilots? When do we expand the data sharing? With pilots, with data sharing, we will enable more public services, and we will be able to offer cross-boundary support in public services. On data clusters, can I urge the government to get its hands on both public and private data? We create these data clusters, and that will drive AI development, and that will inform policy making in the future. I also submit support the motion.
Mr. Chen Yong, thank you, Deputy President. I thank Undersecretary for coming here. I thank Mr. Dennis Leung for the original motion and Mr. Siu-hung and Mr. Stephen Ho for moving amendments. Now, I want to add my idea to the original motion, and that is we need to do it faster and more efficiently so as to help people integrate into the life of in the Greater Bay Area. In this year's work report, Premier Li Qiang also said that it's the national strategy to promote a smart government. So on how we should accelerate the development of a smart government, I think that there are opportunities abound. For example, the Immigration Department has strived to improve their services. Over the years, and now you can use a mobile phone with a QR code to go through the clearance. And in Chongqing Street in Shanghai, face recognition technology has been deployed for our residents to cross the border. Basically, we achieved the contactless clearance procedure, and we've achieved the target. And this facilitates residents in the two places, and this can also promote integration. Of course, we can take it further. For example, can we allow for vehicles to go through clearance also in a contactless manner? That means passengers and drivers don't need to get out of their cars, and they can just queue up in their own cars and wait for clearance. This is an important facilitation measure. But anyway, I really appreciate the government's efforts. There are also other measures relating to smart planning, smart finance, and smart government. A few days ago, we discussed the joint user complex in Hoiting Road. We support the proposal. The Maternal Child Health Center is essential as we want to encourage childbearing. $2.6 billion will be spent on certain works, and I do have doubts about that. I think the money should be spent on the state-of-the-art technologies instead in order to drive innovation. So there is more to be decided. And I'm talking about this joint user complex in Hoiting Road. There's an automated parking system. That sounds really advanced, but in fact this is not true, because if you go into the nitty-gritty, we're talking about 350,000 per parking space. For traditional parking spaces, it ranges from 500,000 to $1 million. So the government should redo the calculations. Otherwise, because of the layering of subcontracting, there may be a waste of resources. We should focus our resources in light of the current financial position of the government. So the government should be smart in how money is spent. The other point is I'd like to show my appreciation for the collaboration between the ITIB and the Guangdong government so that 100 services are now available across the boundary. Now, I emphasize that innovative technologies that are really mature should be rolled out in the delivery of public services. Now, you may have high-speed rail in both places, but if there is a disconnect and that passenger needs to walk for 1 kilometer, then it's not good enough. We need seamless transition and integration into the 9 cities in the Greater Bay Area, so that on first contact of these services, people will be impressed and that you will win the public's support. Once again, I hope that the government can enhance efficiency and speed so as to accelerate the development of a smart government to better assist the public in integrating into the Greater Bay Area to contribute to the country's development. Mr. Benson, look, I thank Mr. Dennis Leung for moving this motion on accelerating the development of a smart government to better assist the public in integrating into the life in the Greater Bay Area. And I also thank members for moving amendments. The Greater Bay Area is a major national strategy. Developing a smart development to connect public services to improve people's livelihood is crucial. This is also crucial in make sure that we can address the barriers in integration into the Greater Bay Area. In recent years, the government has done a lot in terms of going smart and going digital. In December 2022, the government promulgated the I&T Development Blueprint in Hong Kong. It sets out the 4 major directions and 8 strategies, one of which is to expedite the development of digital economy and smart government to enhance people's quality of life. There should also be further collaboration with the mainland on I&T. All these are related to the development of a smart government and promoting data flow across the boundary. However, I see room for improvement in these areas. I'd like to give a summary. I have 3 points of observation. My first suggestion is for the Digital Policy Office and the high echelon of the government to devise a top-down design in terms of reprioritization, reorganization, and performance appraisal. The system should be revamped so as to achieve a single portal for public services as the ones in the mainland, so that we can deliver better public services and more efficient services to enterprises and the public. The second suggestion is that there should be a change of mindset. A fragmented approach has always been at the core of government's public services. Instead, we should adopt a top-level design. We should go smart so as to cut red tape and break barriers. We should also collaborate with industries and the institutions such as the Hong Kong Productivity Council, Cyberport, etc., so as to focus on taking forward a number of smart city initiatives, such as large-scale traffic management system and other initiatives. Now, in the mainland, everything is delivered through the mobile phone? And can we allow for license renewal through the mobile app so that we can leverage on the development of mobile phones? The third suggestion is to build a collaborative platform to allow data sharing and enhance mutual access of data and identity authentication so that people from all places can leverage on this platform to carry out transactions. I also encourage telecommunication operators to waive the fees so that we can have mutual access to the networks without paying roaming fees. Hong Kong residents should also be able to open bank accounts and use other e-services on the mainland more expeditiously. With a single portal, we can allow for registration using the home visit permit. Now, going digital and going smart means not only to improve people's livelihood, but to enhance the bonds among people. I support the motion and the amendments. Mr. Lau Kwong. Thank you, President. The Greater Bay Area is a major national strategy. In recent years, the focus has been on a digital Bay Area. We need to expedite our development to better integrate into the national development. A smart government is crucial to the development of a digital Bay Area. Now, a one-stop digital service platform should be put in place to address the issue of fragmentation among government departments. It can help save operating costs, and that is the merit of I Am Smart. Still, there is room for improvement in terms of its design. Now, we always talk about the success stories in the mainland, such as Yueshengshi and Aishenzhen. These apps and many programs are indispensable among mainland residents. They are able to book a medical appointment, pay social security and traffic-related fines, and also other fees for public services through the apps. But in terms of smart ID card and the Hong Kong SAR passport in Hong Kong, we still need the applicants to go to the offices in person. And the I Am Smart only allows a diversion to the relevant departmental websites. It's not truly a single portal. We should build a platform that can consolidate all these services. Now, I also mentioned the mini programs on WeChat. In the mainland, they use a very simple user interface. It's very user friendly. They also have an elderly friendly version. It's easy to use. For I'm Smart, it only works if you have a mobile phone that allows for fingerprint or identification. The government should continue to enhance I Am Smart as a platform. As I understand, there are new technologies introduced, such as face recognition. There are audio prompts. In fact, for the whole app, audio prompts should be introduced. There are 3.3 million users signing up for I'm Smart. In order to boost the usage rate, the government should step up publicity. For example, at the community level, there should be kiosks and platforms to help the public and elderly citizens on authenticating for I'm Smart. The government should also step up security to encourage more people to use I'm Smart. The next step is to enhance mutual flow of data to promote digital Bay Area. At the moment, Yueshengshi technically allows mutual access, and that using the Guangdong Province's unified ID authentication platform, we can have access to cross-boundary public services. I mentioned Yueshengshi. About 70 public services are covered. However, There is a problem with cross-boundary data interchange, and that accounts for hiccups in the authentication process. Recently, the government has been looking into the idea of connecting the e-health record system with the maintenance system. I think that this marks an important milestone, allowing mutual access of healthcare data will not only enhance efficiency of healthcare services, it will also allow the sharing of resources so that we can further promote a digital Bay Area by breaking digital barrier. President, enhancing the digital government initiative can enhance our public service delivery. It is also an important step to building a digital Bay Area. We should allow members of the public to benefit from the fruit of technological advancement. I support the motion and the amendments.
Mr. Yim Kong, I thank Mr. Dennis Leung for moving this motion debate so we can discuss developing a smart government to better assist the public in integrating into the GBA. In 2022, 3-year action plan for digital GBA was promulgated. In the year 2025, basically we have finished the mission of building a digital GBA. We have made quite a lot of breakthroughs in this area. In the policy address, the Chief Executive mentioned quite a lot of initiatives to build a smart government and a smart city. The smart government in the mainland and Macau, there are both initiatives in this area. Laws, regulations, infrastructures, services, there is headway. They have smart government services. There are pilot service areas, cloud center to serve enterprises and social groups. DeepSeek AI civil servants have been introduced to serve the public, attracting enterprises and talents. The margin of error is kept in check at 5%. We still have room for improvement in relation to developing smart government. There are all too many government apps with duplicated contents across different apps. They should be consolidated. For instance, we have e-mobility, EAT license, and a reporting app for the HKEAA as well as 1823 of the Efficiencies Office. We have HA. Well, there are different applications, and it's difficult to consolidate them. And there are also common apps and mini programs. Using I Am Smart, we should provide convenience to the public. We need to streamline procedures with the use of apps. Say we need to expand cross-boundary public services to talent emission schemes. We also need to expand the scope of service kiosks under the Cross-Boundary Public Services Initiative in order to enable more members of the public to enjoy such services through the use of self-service kiosks. We need to build a data center in the GBA. I'm glad to see that the standard contract for cross-boundary flow of personal information within the GBA has been expanded to cover different industries. All these will facilitate cross-boundary data interchange. We need to launch initiatives to promote cross-boundary data flow. Healthcare organizations, enterprises, they will be able to enjoy cross-boundary data flow. On the premise of personal data privacy, we need to promote cross-boundary data interchange and interoperability. President, we can change our mindset to remove barriers, make good use of the principle of one country, two systems to develop a smart government and integrate into the GBA development. I so submit I support the motion and the amendments. Mr. Jeffrey Lam. Thank you, President. Hong Kong is a core city in the GBA. We need to develop a smart government in order to promote digitalization and smart development of the city. We were on duty visits and we witnessed the smart traffic initiatives in Shanghai and Hangzhou. Say in Shanghai, in a particular district, we saw how AI was used to manage vehicle flow. Hangzhou, the city bring a total of 2,000 odd smart initiatives to provide public services. All these are examples that we can learn from. I'd like to focus on two areas. One, information silos. This is an important issue in Hong Kong. Despite the Smart City Development Blueprint 2.0, there's a lack of collaboration among government departments. Take logistics as an example. Customs and Excise Department, DH. We also need to work with the Customs and Excise Department and other departments. We need to streamline the procedures. In other places, enterprises only need one step to finish all the procedures. However, in Hong Kong, we have yet to see such initiatives. In the latest budget announced by the Financial Secretary, the FS said that we would launch a digital corporate identity platform soon. I hope it can be combined with the I Am Smart, so we will find it convenient. We may work with the Guangdong province to use the concept of city brain to facilitate cross-boundary data interchange. Finance, logistics, retail, we can make it applicable to these sectors. They can reduce the costs for enterprises, and we can also attract state-owned enterprises to come to Hong Kong to establish a foothold. We need to be flexible when it comes to transacting business. We shouldn't be stuck in a groove. I'm not talking about cash payment or cashless payment. I'm talking about digitalization within the organization. According to a survey, only 28% of the SMEs have consolidated ERP and CRM. Only 15% of the retail sector have removed the barriers between online and offline data interchange. Stock management then becomes possible. After all, financial resources are one of the concerns. ERP system cost, say, $100,000. For large enterprises, it may cost $1 million. Enterprises are limited by resources. They may be afraid that they may be taken for a ride. For subsidized enterprises, they need to take a proactive role to tie in with the innovation policy of the government. See, the ITIB wants to promote cross-boundary interchange, data interchange among the two places. After the upgrading of the system, we can expect KPI standards. The government needs to provide assistance to enterprises to move towards digitalization. Drawing reference from the experience of the government on tech vouchers, intermediaries in the market, well, these there was collusion seen in the market. The government needs to conduct inspections and surprise checks to detect any suspicious cases. Reform shouldn't be a slogan. We need to really take action to develop a smart government. That is exactly how the Pearl of the Orient can scale new heights. Thank you. Mr. Ambrose Lam. Thank you, President. Developing a smart government to integrate into the GBA, I'm all for it. But as a representative of the legal sector, we need to review and improve the personal data privacy ordinance as well as the personal data statements. Just now, Mr. Geoffrey Lam mentioned this issue, and we echo his point. There's a lack of data interchange among different government departments. As Mr. Geoffrey Lam mentioned, it is the phenomenon of information silos. In accordance with the PDPO in Schedule 1, the first principle is that we need to state clearly to the data subject the aim of collecting the data, and without express consent, the data shouldn't be used for another purpose. If we take a close look at the government forms, there are details overleave the application forms. Say the Transport Department, TD22, there's a vehicle registration form. The purpose of collecting personal information is to approve the application in relation to traffic and transportation issues. Other government departments can only access TD22 personal particulars in relevant matters in relation to application forms of the Housing Society or the Housing Authority. Information can be provided to other government departments for information verification and vice versa. If the Housing Authority needs to check whether a household has any car or luxurious vehicle, then the HA will have to turn to the TD. But then public housing doesn't have anything to do with the vehicles, and the TD is at liberty to reject such a request. The TD cannot provide information to the Housing Authority. Therefore, if we need to change the phenomenon of information silos, please, the administration should amend the application forms. If there's a lack of lawyers within the DOJ, the administration might as well outsource the relevant work to other legal practitioners in the private market. Lawyers working on cross-boundary data interchange told me that the PDPO lacks certainty, so large-scale enterprises are afraid of being caught by the law. In accordance with Section 33 of the PDPO, save and except for specific situations, personal particulars shouldn't be moved outside of Hong Kong. This ordinance hasn't come into operation yet, but enterprises might have the question, is cross-boundary data interchange legal? If this Section 33 will come into operation next month, then should there be personal data statement? How should they ensure that they won't be caught by the law? So lawyers should draw reference from different cases around the world. They should draw reference from the standards around the world. Afterwards, they can work on the personal privacy of their own company. This will, however, drive up the compliance costs. The best way is to amend the PDPO Personal Data Privacy Ordinance. Legislation for cross-boundary data interchange should be made very clear, so people do not have to conjecture. To build a smart GBA, the administration should review comprehensively the PDPO and make amendments accordingly. In case of any ambiguities or room for improvement, I suggest that the administration should draw reference from the EU relevant legislation, that is the GDPR from EU. In the UK, it's been implemented. Civil law and common law jurisdictions will also be able to use this practice. Thank you.
Council is now suspended and we will resume at 9 a.m. tomorrow.